G.P.K Productions.
Not very classy.
All right, we are here with Johnny Brennan.
What up?
What So
What
Johnny, why don't you tell us a little bit about what the fuck you do?
My name's John Brennan. I do body piercings.
How long you been piercing for?
Since 2005. So, 14 years coming up in March, I think.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
When did you get your first piercing?
I was 14 and I got my tongue pierced.
Sounds illegal.
Nah, at the time, in those years, like, not much was really illegal in that aspect. There wasn't really much of anything. We went to Berkeley and we walked around, and there were, a lot of places where, no, he's got to be 16, he's got to be 16. And then we ended up going to Concord and a little head shop, and they didn't give a shit. So, got it done. Yeah.
You were with your mom?
Yeah. Mom, I had to do a little coercing. It wasn't very hard though. I don't know. Same time, right when I turned 16, I wanted to get my lip pierced.
Yeah.
She told me no, but you could get a tattoo. I still don't understand the logic of that, but hey, I got a tattoo.
Do you know who did your piercing?
Yeah, it's a guy named Tiger. I
Okay.
remember, yeah.
You still talk to him at all?
No, I've never, that was like my only time. I remember hearing about him back then, like, a few people got piercings from Tiger, because it was in like the wild west of piercing days almost still, like that 90s to early 2000s, like there wasn't much regulation going on, so.
When was it you realized you wanted to pierce professionally?
I don't know, like I knew when I was going to be 18, like I wasn't doing the best in school, I wasn't paying attention for the most part, but I knew I had to do something. I always had the kind of infatuation with piercings. Yeah, but I knew I had to do something, man, and like I wasn't gonna do retail for the most part. I was doing retail. I had a bunch of other jobs growing up, because you gotta make money somehow. So,
yeah.
But I always had like little ties and loved tattoo shops. I loved the imagery of it. I used to collect tattoo magazines when I was a teenager. I was kind of new. I went into a shop when I was a kid called Nomads in San Francisco, and I remember my mom got her daith pierced, like a 12 gauge, chunky, really nice. But I remember sitting in the lobby and just looking through the portfolio.
Her date?
Daith, yeah, daith. There's a big debate out there right now, but that's the quote unquote migraine piercing as well.
All right.
Yeah. Not back in the day, nobody knew anything about the migraine thing, so she just got it because it was cool. I remember looking through the portfolio and just seeing all the different piercings and everything was being blown away, So I think that was kind of like the first call to it. And then as I got older, just kind of sunk myself into it, got into a shop that the guy was all right, but just wasn't the place for me, for sure. And then found somebody else who really, really helped me out.
So who is that? That was Becky, right?
Big deal, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a big deal. I don't try to like write on her success or anything, but she's a name out there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Does she have a lot of people that have apprenticed underneath her?
I'm the only one.
You're the only one?
I'm the only one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative of it, and we were both really young at the time, but we were friends. We were both working together, and yeah, she's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting married today.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations to Becky.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but I was your apprentice.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
I tried out body piercing.
Yeah.
Have you had any other apprentices or people approach you to apprentice?
No. You know, when you came at it, you had a determination. You know, there's kind of like a wall. If it's something that you really want to do, and you're a very persistent person. When you take something you want to do it, you're going to do it. You know, you're going to take it to the max where you can, kind of thing. Other than that, yeah, nobody else has ever really showed enthusiasm. Other people have come in, but at the same time, you know, there's so much to stay on top of in piercing that it's almost like I don't know if I want to try and apprentice anybody else either. You know, it's best to keep my own self as tight as I can be, and I don't want to ever feel like I'm better than anybody because I taught all these people or anything like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just a weird mentality I got, but for the most part, it takes a lot of dedication, and you know, there's a lot to learn. So it would have to be just totally full time with that person nonstop. Maybe one day I will. It just depends. You know, you don't know what life's gonna throw at you, so it's hard to say I won't. Hard to say I will.
Yeah. As a piercer, you know, I remember there being just a ton of downtime. It's not like a tattoo where you're drawing all the time
Yeah,
and taking work home to draw and set up. Not as much cleaning, it seems like. What's a typical day look like for you?
Typical day, you know, couple of jewelry sales, some insertions, doing some piercings. At this point, you know, I've worked at other shops where things were a little bit slower. Things seem to be increasing here, which is really nice. So, yeah, otherwise getting packaging done, getting sterilization done, and if I got downtime, I'll do a little reading, you know, peruse the internet kind of thing here and there. I'm not really on social media for the most part. I have an Instagram, Piercings by Johnny, but you know, that's not my thing. Yeah.
How do you deal with like unsatisfied customers or people who just are
Well, I try to make sure, you know, what I'm putting out is quality. You know, if I'm not really happy with it, I'm not gonna let them really walk out with it. You know, I will make sure that it looks good and that they're happy and they stay satisfied. And if it's something that I'm not really stoked on, like it might be a little just slightly off, I'll let the person know straight out, and it's really up to them. You know, some people I've tried, like I did a navel probably about 2 months ago, and it just had this just slight little curvature to it, and I was like, you know, I'm not really stoked on it. She looked at it, she loved it. It's gonna heal, it's gonna be viable. And I told her, you know, I'll give you a whole month to keep looking at it. If you're not satisfied, like, we'll redo it. It's not too big of a deal. I'm not gonna charge you for it. I want you to be happy, and I want what I'm doing to look good. So, yeah, I just try to be open and honest with clients. You know, that's probably the best thing is transparency. Because
honesty is a good policy.
Yeah, especially in what we're doing. You know, they're putting a lot of faith into me as another person to put a hole through their body. You know, so it's a big mentality block for a lot of people, and that's why people get nervous about it. It's something to kind of worry about. Like someone's gonna put something through my body, so. I feel it's just best being as honest as possible.
A while ago, you had actually retired, quote unquote, retired from piercing.
Yeah.
And you were going to go to school for phlebotomy?
Yeah, it's going to be phlebotomy and maybe move into lab technician. Just kind of thinking about the future and just what viability of money and income and things, you know. At the time I was at another shop that was great, but I just wasn't making the money that I used to, and there was other reasons too, you know. But yeah, I went through all that, did the certification, pretty easy, pretty straightforward, you know, not too big of a deal. Did the internship, totally fine, but there was a lot of things about it that was just, it's not for me. It's kind of not the environment I wanted to set myself into. It's kind of sad, which is fine, because that's part of life, you know, and it's good to understand that there's going to be a part of life where, you know, you may have to go to the hospital a lot and things are degrading, but that and cleanliness just wasn't happening there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
I
lot
know
of
you're
places.
kind of a germaphobe, huh?
Yeah, a lot of places wouldn't even give me a time or day for an interview or anything like that too, because I had piercer on my resume for almost like what was it, like 9 years at that point I was piercing, and that's what was on my resume. So just nobody really,
man.
I didn't get any calls back or anything like
Blood
that.
in, blood
So
out, huh?
pretty much. And but during that time too, I was recommended here at Indigo by Becky to Lee Ballesteros, the other piercer here, because they were looking to pick someone up. It was close to home, and I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. And since then, they've been the best people I've worked for thus far, and
Yeah.
I love the place.
It wasn't hard to return back to piercing.
There was probably like a month or two, like grace period, because I had been out for a few months, that I was just, trying to get comfortable again, looking at my setup, being like, something's missing here, and it'd be like something small, like, okay, a little insertion taper or this or that kind of thing. But getting back into the jive, it's almost like, I think it's best to stay in practice at all times, but it can be kind of like riding like a bicycle. You know what you're doing. You're hitting your angles, you're making your marks, you're cleaning the area for a certain amount of time. It's all kind of the same thing. But everybody already brings kind of a unique scenario with each body type they may have, or a fold, or lack of fold in the ear or something like that. So every single piercing is case by case.
Well, Johnny, it was good talking to you. Indigo Skin Design. Be around getting pierced and getting more tattoos.
Sorry for the shit interview.
It's depressing, man.
We're here to help.